After 5 weeks in Mexico, I found myself deep into the Baja Divide in a little desert oasis called San Ignacio. From here, I'd ride 550 miles to get to the city of La Paz. The way there would involve some of the most challenging but beautiful riding of the entire Baja Divide. With stunning canyons, beautiful beaches, and the most incredible coastal riding I could ever dream of. I'd take a boat to a remote bay with new friends, deal with my biggest bike break yet, and see magical wildlife that I'll never forget. All while having a great time. After 4 days rest in San Ignacio, I spent the day riding to the nearby laguna. Here, between December and March every year, grey whales come to mate, give birth and raise their calves, and I was fortunate enough to be there just at the right time to see them. The strangely elegant giants put on a show for us, and after the tour I continued south along the coast, riding on dried lake beds.
Woo! Oh yeah, this is fun. Once you get some momentum going on this hard-packed sand, you fly along it. This is brilliant.
Well, I think this is going to have to do the job for tonight. And I think this might be the first time on the whole Baja Divide where I've just had to pitch my tent somewhere out of convenience that's not particularly exciting or memorable. Alright, I'm now back in El Datil and I've just stocked up with enough food for the next few days. The next section's only 90 miles, but there's a 40-mile stretch of it which is meant to be the most strenuous part of the whole Baja Divide. So I'm expecting it to be pretty slow, and I figured I'd load up with 3 days of food just in case. Well, I was just here enjoying the shade when another cyclist turned up called Andreas, who's not riding the Baja Divide, but he is spending a few weeks riding down Baja. And he left me with a bunch of Chilean pesos, which he's been carrying with him down the Baja, waiting just to meet another cyclist who's going all the way down to South America, so he could give them to him, because he had them left over from a trip to Chile. That is just such an unnecessary act of kindness, but that is so nice. I don't know how much this is, he didn't either, but hopefully it'll buy me at least my first coffee in Chile and I'll remember him when I do. The good thing about this section is there's plenty of surface water, so I don't have to carry too much water with me at any one time. If I run out, I can just stop and filter some more. And it's also a really good opportunity to cool down because it is hot out here. The road itself hasn't been too bad. It's just very slow because there's so much sand and cobbles. So it's really more of a test of patience than it is endurance. And luckily I've got plenty of time, so I can take it slow and just make sure I enjoy this beautiful place. If this isn't the perfect place to camp, I don't know what is. So beautiful. Just about to get started for the day and ended up with a cactus in my leg. It's gonna hurt. One of the nasty things about these cacti is when they end up in your leg, all the spikes go in at different angles. So you really have to like cut them all off and then pluck them out one by one. Oh yeah. That was the most painful one yet. That is not fun. You really got to watch out for these plants. They are brutal. Another one.
I don't think about it. About you leaving me. I don't know who I'd be. Would everything we built just turn to broken leaves? I don't think about it. Do you think of me? Walking out that door. Never hearing me talk to myself in the morning anymore. Would it all just turn and turn and turn and turn and turn and turn? You don't think about it. Maybe it scares you like
I've ended up taking an extra day of rest here in Mulege because the next section of the Baja Divide involves paying a fisherman to take you in a boat across the Bay of Conception. So I've ended up hanging out here to wait for some other bikers. There's now going to be 5 of us crossing over, which makes the crossing a little bit cheaper. It's really cool to be able to do this part of the route because I was expecting to have to skip it if I was on my own. So I'm just getting packed up now, and then I'm going to head over and meet them in the town centre. To be honest, Mulege's been a brilliant place to have an extra day off because it's just really beautiful here. Such a nice place. Look at this around me.
In town, I joined Kurt and Erin, who I met all the way back in California on the Divide, and we loaded our bikes onto the boat before being joined by Britton and Jason. It wasn't long before we were across the Bay of Conception, where we unloaded our bikes onto a beautiful beach. Britton and Jason went ahead, and Kurt, Erin and I decided that we'd ride together for a while.
This is just heavenly riding. The absolute dream.
Well, I think this might be the perfect place to camp for the night. It's funny, I've never been massive on camping on beaches and coastline. I've always much preferred being up in the mountains, but there's something incredibly special about being on a beach that's this wild and remote. There's just nobody else out here apart from us, and it's so special.
Should I kick it over?
Nice.
Now made it back over to the Sea of Cortez.
We made it to the highway, and after it got dark, we turned off to head further inland and to find ourselves a camp spot. We woke up to find it was actually pretty beautiful and began a long day of climbing up into the mountains. Not long into the day, we bumped into another cyclist from Germany called Klaus.
It's been such hard work that I almost forgot to look up and notice how beautiful it is. God damn. We've now done most of the climbing for the day and just going to head down into this canyon and go a couple of miles off route to a little town called Sanadrisle. And there we'll be resupplying and probably spend the night because I think we're all pretty tired and I can't imagine us going much further today. Been an absolutely brutal day of riding. The roads have been so rough, so much climbing, and it's just so hot. I've gone through almost 5 litres of water today and I am still very, very thirsty.
Bike fast, eat ass, that's what I always say. Bike good, don't suck.
So when we got into town yesterday, we asked a couple of locals where we could camp, and they pointed us in the direction of this beautiful spot right on the river with these little cabanas, and it was just behind this public football/basketball court where I actually ended up playing football with a Mexican family, which was really fun. And we were told it was absolutely fine to camp here, so we spent the night here, and then we woke up in the morning to this man, to be fair, a very friendly man with a machete walking around our camp. And he kind of just lingered about for a while, and then eventually he kind of told us that he'd built the cabanas that we were camping under, and then asked for some money, which is fair enough. It was just a very weird interaction with a man just slowly walking around with a machete around us. But he was actually really nice, he was very friendly. We just gave him like 20 pesos each, which really isn't much, and he left us alone, luckily. Now today it's actually quite cloudy again, which I'm very thankful for because it was so unbelievably hot yesterday. I'm kind of at a sad point now where the sun has kind of become my enemy, and I'm actually hoping for cloudy days, which is kind of a shame because I just love being in the sun. But it's very much appreciated today because there is a serious amount of climbing to do. I had a little look at the road ahead on the way here yesterday, and it looks like it's going to be insanely beautiful. I think we're just climbing up through all these amazing canyons, and if it's anything like the area we're in right now, I'm going to be very happy. We were joined yesterday by another cyclist, a German guy called Klaus, so there's actually a group of 4 of us now, which is pretty cool. They've all gone ahead, so I'm going to race ahead now and see if I can catch up with them.
I'm officially back on the Baja Divide now, and I've got to head up this road here. It's about 1,100 feet of climbing to do. It's going to be a brutal start to the day, but got to get it done. And at least it's not as hot as it will be later, although it's pretty humid. Brutal start to the day. Just made it to the top of the next climb. Now done about 2,200 feet of climbing, and it's only midday. It's always a good feeling. That was hard work. Still a long way to go though. Well, Well, we made it to the top of the climb, and I think that might be the most climbing I've done in a day on the Baja Divide. And although it's been really tough, I have missed doing some proper mountain climbing. It's been quite a while since I've had to do it, and I always really enjoy it because it's just so rewarding. It's how you get the best views, it's how you find the best camp spots. So I'm happy to be doing it once again.
After making it to the top of that ridiculously tough climb, we descended for about an hour and a half into this beautiful valley where we're going to spend the night, and it's given us a little preview into the challenge we have in the morning. It looks like it's going to be a brutal climb, but at least we'll be doing it when it's not too hot, so it should be alright.
Close your eyes.
This is a very, very tough climb. It's not just pretty steep, it's also quite technical and rocky.
I'm by your side. Lay your head on my chest. I know you've had a really bad day.
We've now made it to the top of that climb, and it looks like it was definitely worth it because now we get a crazy long descent into another beautiful canyon. I really didn't expect to find scenery like this in Baja. It's completely surprised me, but it's absolutely amazing. It's so beautiful out there.
Go out, we're gonna be okay. If all the blue skies fade to gray, we're gonna be okay. Calm your soul. Hold my hand. Don't let go. I understand. I know it hurts. It wasn't fair. It's over now, so don't despair. The world could fall down, it's gonna be okay. The sun could go out, we're gonna be okay.
That was
All
close.
the blue skies fade to gray, we're gonna be okay.
Every corner just seems to get more and more beautiful. Can't believe this.
The world could fall down, it's gonna be okay. The sun could go out, we're gonna be okay. If all the blue skies fade to gray, we're gonna be okay. The world could fall down, it's gonna be okay. The sun could go out, we're gonna be okay. If all the blue skies fade to gray, we're gonna be okay.
We're just making our way out of San Javier, which is another one of these tiny little towns with their mission site. It's located in such an incredible place, it's so stunning. And now we're gonna make our way further down into the canyons and find a place to spend the night.
We found ourselves a camp spot pretty quickly after leaving San Javier, and soon after continuing the next day, I stopped to fix a leak in my front tyre, only to discover a series of cracks on my rear rim. I carefully rode for the next day and a half to Ciudad Constitucion, where I said goodbye to the group and got the bus to La Paz, the nearest place where I'd be able to replace the rim. After 2.5 weeks in La Paz, I've finally managed to replace my rear rim. Now the bike's working fine again. I've just spent 3 hours getting the bus back to Ciudad Constitucion, and now it's time to pick up where I left off. Naturally, after so much rest, I'm pretty excited to be back on the bike, and I've heard this next section is potentially the best of the whole divide, so I'm really looking forward to it. This part of the route actually takes you past a burning dump, which apparently one of the guys that scouted the route included intentionally despite being quite easily avoidable, because he wanted to highlight the way in which Mexico was dealing with its waste problem. And it certainly isn't pretty. I've now made it past the dump on a pretty unenjoyable washboarded road, and I found myself a nice little wild camping spot out here in the desert. I've really missed wild camping the last couple of weeks, and I feel like I'm almost back where I belong out here.
There's dinner in the yard, out behind the cars. Tonight we're gonna do something different. I will make the things that I know how to make. You will make something more delicious. A sweet potato pie on a flimsy paper plate. Baby, I don't think it gets much better. There isn't much to keep. We lay down and fall asleep till the morning comes around to find love. I still keep with me these little memories. The ones that stick around are the most bittersweet. I know it's getting late. The night is full of such mistake. I was hoping that you might want to talk to me.
If you're ever wondering why someone would want a cowboy camp, it's all about waking up and this being the first thing you see in the morning.
Table outside, still sitting there. It's been so long, barely holds together. You can't really say.
I've got over 4,000 feet of climbing to do today to get to the next town with a store. It's going to be pretty rough riding as well, so it's going to be a long day, but I'm hoping there's a couple of ranches along the way where I can stop and get some food, and then I might be able to spend one more night out here.
If you were there, oh, maybe it was something like a dream.
Buddy?
There isn't much to keep. Tonight I hope I fall asleep till the morning comes around to find me. Oh, I still keep with me these little memories. The ones that stick around are the most bittersweet. I know it's getting late. The night is full of such mistakes.
Out of all the beautiful things I've seen today, all the stunning canyons and birds and plants, this is without a doubt the most beautiful sight. Oh, that's amazing. I've probably spent more time at this ranch than I should have, but luckily I've managed to not only get some lunch but also some extra food to take away, which means I can spend one more night out here, and I'm very happy about that because it's just so beautiful out here. This means I can really take my time making my way through all these stunning canyons.
Look at that. This is insane. Although it's way too hot to be doing this much climbing. This is going to be fun. Yes. Oh, this is insane. The sun's pretty much set now and it's going to be dark very soon, but I think I'm actually going to push on and try and get myself to the top of the climb. I reckon I might thank myself in the morning if I manage to make it up there.
I think it's fair to say that hour riding in the dark was probably worth it. The only thing better than this view is going to be the descent down to the sea. I cannot wait. Oh wow. After the epic descent, I made it to a small fishing town called Sanadrisle, where I stocked up with food and water and prepared for a short ride to a bay where I could spend the night.
No.
I've now made it to the bay and it is just absolutely stunning. There's these beautiful layers of green and pink rock. There's amazing views of the islands off in the Sea of Cortez. The colour of the water is incredible, and there's even views of all the canyons behind me. It's just absolutely perfect.
A driver just stopped as I was struggling my way up a hill, and I asked him for some water because I was running pretty low. It's just insane how much water I'm having to drink in this heat. And not only did he give me some much needed water, he gave me a burrito and an orange as well. It's so kind. Also, look at this view behind me. It is just astonishingly beautiful out here. It's definitely my favorite part of the Baja Divide. It's just absolutely unbelievable out here. This is insane.
Look at that.
Oh my goodness. How does it just keep getting better and better? Look at that. Oh wow. Let's go. I've just had a nice little meal, nothing too fancy, but still a treat out here. And now I get to enjoy some more beautiful coastal riding. Life is good out here in Baja.
The last 20 miles took me slightly inland on a fairly easy going, although at times pretty sandy road that was just completely surrounded by all these beautiful multicoloured hills and mountains, before eventually reconnecting with the Sea of Cortez. And I've now come across a shipwreck, which feels like a pretty good spot to stop and have a snack. Now I've only got a few more miles to ride until I'm in a mining community called San Juan de la Costa, where I'll be able to get some more food.
I've got a little bit of a problem. I've just got to this town, which was pretty much meant to be the end of the day. I was going to pick up my food here and then ride just a couple more miles and find a nice spot on the beach for me to wild camp on. But I've got here and the store is not open, so I can't buy any food and I'm completely out. I'm already hungry because I was planning on eating now. And the next town is 25 miles away. It's currently 5 p.m. The only saving grace is it's all paved, I think. At least it's on Highway 1 and it's very flat. So hopefully I can get those 25 miles done pretty quickly. It might only take a couple of hours if I push it, but it's gonna be tough because I'm already hungry. And so I'm gonna be starving by the time I get there. It's not ideal, but I'm honestly amazed that this hasn't happened before on the whole Baja Divide where I've had to go hungry. Let's do this. Fortunately, the tarmac's smooth, the road's quiet, and the scenery is gorgeous. Also, a lovely woman in the town gave me some water, so I'm all good on that front. I actually think it's going to be quite amazing riding along this coastline as the sun's setting, so it's not all bad, I guess. I've just hit the halfway point. The sun is almost set. And there's not a thought in my mind other than how good these tacos are going to be when I get to this town. I cannot wait. I have now made it to the town. I really had to dig deep there, especially in the last hour after it got dark. My legs felt like jelly, my hands started going numb, my shoulders were aching, and one side of my lower back actually seized up at one point. But I have now made it, and I've just ordered some food. It's gonna be okay. This makes me so happy. Alright, I ended up camping last night, and now I've just got to make the final, I think it's 8 miles into La Paz. And I've got a hotel room for a few days because that push yesterday just completely battered my body. I strained something in my lower back. My legs are just really sore, so I'm gonna have a few days of rest before I keep moving.
And just like that, I'm back in La Paz, which pretty abruptly brings to an end part 3 of my time on the Baja Divide. Now I'm going to have a few nights off resting here in La Paz because everything hurts. It's a little bit of a shame that I didn't get to spend another night out there on the beach, but there's going to be plenty more nights of wild camping on the coast because right after this, I'm going to be starting the Cabo Loop.